Hi guys, week 11 of this distance learning. Next week will be our last lesson. We're going to finish up talking about first aid and safety. And today we're going to get into some of the injuries that can happen, especially now that the weather's nice, you're riding your bicycle, and you want to have a good time, but you want to be aware of what can happen and what to do to treat that. You're not going to be a certified person in first aid and safety, but you will be trained. Also, I just want to mention about grades. You are not going to be getting a formal number grade for health for semester 2 or your overall final average. You're just going to get either for semester 2, okay, which is quarter 4, you're going to get a pass or incomplete based on if you participate in distance learning. If you have a passing grade and you didn't participate in distance learning, your overall will be passing. So pass or incomplete. If you don't have a passing grade, you haven't participated in distance learning, so you're probably not hearing me now. I mean, I hope you are watching. Then there could be a chance of getting an incomplete. Email me if you have any concerns. Okay, let's get started. This is my favorite unit. I was an athletic trainer for many years. I worked at SUNY Albany, and I got to work with a lot of the sports teams and deal with injuries. So it was really, really cool. Okay, so basically, let's get started. Okay, so basic first aid, and we're going to talk about the word price and how to help somebody who is fainting. And sometimes when you hear this stuff, it can be cause you to be a little queasy, and if you don't feel good, it's important if you're in class even what to do or how to help somebody. So first aid for common emergencies: broken bones, fractures, it's a break. If you're not an x-ray machine, obviously, so you're not going to tell necessarily by looking at somebody if they have a break. So an x-ray is the only way that you can tell. And if it is something so obvious, 911, you don't want to ever move somebody if they have, an injury that could harm them anyway. We talked about with the 3 C's of first aid. You guys did really great on that. Check, call, care. Check the area. Make sure that you're safe. It's safe for you to approach because you don't want 2 victims. So a fracture could be, there's many different kinds of fractures, which is a break, okay? It's the same thing. But if a person is not sure if it's broken, they should go get an x-ray. A sprain or strain can feel like a break, and it definitely swells. So to keep the swelling down, because swelling is going to cause pain, you want to do a thing called PRICE. And that's the acronym, which stands for protect it, rest it, ice, compression, and then elevate it. So basically what that means is you want to get off of it. You don't want to be hobbling around. It's going to make it worse. You want to ice it on for 10 to 15 minutes, and then take the ice off and elevate it. You want to keep it up as you're doing that, and then wrap a compression wrap from your toes up. Okay, so if you have like an ACE wrap, and you want it to feel like a snug sock, it should not be too tight. This foot here could be even more swollen. People get really, really swollen, and then they do think if it's a break, but this can happen all the time. Just one of my friends, he was playing soccer last week, and he twisted his ankle the wrong way, and it swelled up. All right, insect bites and stings. So this also kind of like tick related. I had to pick 4 ticks off my cat just yesterday. So, watch your animals, especially if you have woods. I have woods in the back of my house. Wash the area of the bite, apply a special lotion if need to, if it's really, really itchy. If a stinger needs to remove the stinger. You just take even like a credit card and run it over. It should help. Apply ice, especially to relieve that pain for somebody. Burns, there's first, second, and third degree burns. First degree is like a sunburn. Okay, you sit in the sun, you forgot to put SPF on. Again, when you're busy and you're running around, you may forget. So if you get a first degree burn, you can soak in cool water, not cold, cool. So you never want to go from hot to cold, cold to hot. So it's going to be cool. Second degree, this is more of like a sunburn that is a second degree sunburn because it has now blistered. Obviously, you don't want to be popping any blisters. That could be and cause infection, more pain, and all that. Now, a third degree burn, depending on the severity, it could be as deep as goes to the bone. And this obviously is a 911. Okay, poisoning. So here's the number for Poison Control Center. You definitely should write this down somewhere if you don't already have it on the refrigerator. All poisonings require immediate treatment. They do. Okay, you don't want to tell somebody to throw up and get the poison out because it could actually be even worse coming up. So basically, you're babysitting and you don't know what the little kid got into, but you see like there's, something next to them, you want to have that when you call poison control. So you know what to tell them so they can guide you into what to do. All right, so foreign object in the eye. Oh, yeah, you're playing kickball and you get dirt in your eye. So obviously try not to rub it. 2 years ago, I scratched my cornea. Oh, it was the worst pain ever. And I had to go immediately to the eye doctor. I had to wear like a fake contact for a week, put these drops in every single day, like multiple times a day. It was not fun. So don't rub your eye. If you think something's in it, use clean water, flush the object out. So if you need to flush it out, you take water and you're going to pour it out. So you're not pouring it this way and then it goes into the other eye, but try not to rub it. Also, when I touch the cat, and since I have bad allergies, it feels like my eyes are really swollen. So try not to be rubbing your eye too much because it can cause more inflammation and more problems. Okay, nosebleeds. Oh, this happens, especially in dry air. It can definitely happen. So first things first, sit down because you don't want to end up falling down because you're lightheaded. And if it's a friend, tell them to sit down too. Okay. Now, all they have to do is keep their head neutral, like my head is now, and then put a tissue over it. And also, you can put ice on top of it if you want. 5 to 10 minutes should be good. If it is continuous, it looks like a lot of blood, maybe then, call 911, head to the emergency room. But usually they slow down or subside within a couple minutes. And then after, it's going to feel like you got a whole big nose full of boogers. Try not to blow your nose after because it will start up the nosebleed again. When I worked with the wrestling team a lot, they would have nosebleeds, and I would have to treat them frequently for that. Fainting. If you haven't fainted, or if you have, you should definitely know how it feels. But fainting happens to anyone at any time. And it could just be they didn't eat breakfast. They are overheated. They're lightheaded. Somebody said something really gross. They saw something really gross and it just caused them, again, all that blood rush away from the head and then they could faint. What I say, if you're ever feeling faint, especially in a class, lay right on the floor. Lay right on the floor. And I know you're like, what? No way. Yes. And then what you're going to do, you should put your feet up. So this here, placing your head between your knees. Don't do that. If you feel faint, lie or sit down. And then you want to raise your legs up. Lay down and raise legs 8 to 12 inches. I don't know why it says, I don't place your head between your knees because then you don't want to faint and fall on your head. I don't like that. I'm taking that out. I don't know why that's in there. So don't do that. Lay down, put your feet up. The blood flow will rush back to your head. That must have been old in the book. See, that's not good. Don't do that. Okay. And then heat-related illnesses, this is it. Rest, cool down. Look at my friend here. He's jogging in the heat. Make sure you drink some water or sports drink to replenish that. Make sure you're riding your bike all day, that you are drinking some kind of fluids besides soda. All that caffeine can dehydrate you too. If a person because there's different kinds of heat-related illnesses, goes into like heat stroke almost. It's like a shock where their body starts to shut down. All of a sudden, it's so hot, 95 degrees out. You're both sweating. You're both doing all this stuff. Then you look over and your friend looks a little disoriented and is not sweating anymore. Don't be like, oh, they're fine. It actually has now turned into a life-threatening emergency. Call 911, and definitely if they're unconscious or not breathing. Seizures can happen in a classroom. They can happen if somebody has seizure disorder. Never hold a person down or put anything in their mouth. If it's in a classroom, the class should exit the room, let the teacher and the nurse deal with the situation. And of course, they need to be checked out by a doctor. Call 911. And then diabetes, type 1 or type 2, if they have high blood sugar or low blood sugar, doesn't matter. You can give them liquid sugar, not like a candy, because if they do end up passing out, that's going to be a choking hazard. Next lesson, we're going to talk about how to do the Heimlich maneuver for choking, and then of course call 911 if they're disoriented. All right, any questions on that? That's fun stuff. Helping somebody, if you're really into that, if you're into like the medical field and stuff, that would be great to get into that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Okay, I was really into it. I mean, I still am. People still call me all the time. Like I said, my friend, when he said, "Oh, I was playing soccer and hurt my leg," and what to do and how to help somebody. It's really great. If you do want to become certified, maybe some of you want to get into babysitting. It's great to get into a certified class, of course, through the Red Cross. And it's not that much money. You get one of the masks and you get a booklet and you get trained and you get a card that says you are certified. It's really great to bring to a person's house when you are interviewing to get that babysitting job and say, hey, you know what, I'm a certified in first aid and safety, and you might get paid more, and they'll definitely hire you. So, okay, I'll see you soon. Talk to you next week. Bye.